All right, this is our last day of solving systems with new instruction. So we'll still have a couple of review days, but this is it. Today we're going to talk about if they really don't match a number at all. We're going to talk about what happens. So we first have to talk about what these look like in this particular situation. So we end up with one solution. We'll end up with x equals a number and y equals a number. When we have infinite solutions, we'll end up with something like 0 equals 0. And if we have no solutions, we'll end up with something like 0 equals 4. So something that is always true, something that is never true, and something that is only true at this specific spot. Okay? So, that's what they mean. Right here, first thing I notice, they don't match. So, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom equation by numbers to make them match. The way that I do that is I pick a number. Well, I pick a letter I want to get rid of. In this case, I'm picking x because they got smaller numbers on them. So I'm going to multiply the entire top equation by a 5. And when I multiply the top equation by a 5, I get 35x. 5 times negative 12 is negative 60y. And then 5 times negative 22 is negative 22 times 5. We get 5 times 2, 10. Then we've got negative 110. Beautiful. All right, then we're going to multiply this bottom equation by that 7, because we want these numbers to match. And 7 times 5 is the same thing as 5 times 7. That's why we're doing this. So we've got 7 times 5, and that's 35x. Look, now they match. Yay! Then we've got 7 times negative 8, and that's negative 56y. And then we've got 7 times negative 14. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 1 is 7. 8, 9. So we got negative 98. Beautiful. My calculator is not working, so we are using math here. Okay, now you may notice, just like last time, these signs are exactly the same. So right now, if I added them, I would get 70x. That is not what I want. I want a not 70x. So I'm going to change all the signs on the top equation. I just picked one randomly. It's up to you, whichever one you want to do. So now I've got negative 35 plus 35 is 0. Now I've got 60 minus 56, and that's 4y. Then I have negative 110 minus 98, and that's going to equal 12. So now I divide both sides by 4, and I end up with y equals 3. So right now, I've got that part of my solution. I'm not done yet. So now I'm going to take this 3, and I'm going to plug it in for this y, because I just picked the bottom equation. So I've got 5x minus 8 times 3 equals negative 14. So negative 8 times 3 is negative 24 equals negative 14. So if I add 24 to both sides, I end up with 5x equals 10. Then divide both sides by 5, and I end up with the solution of x equals 2. So then my solution to the system is 2, 3. That wasn't too bad, right? I like this stuff. That's so fun. All right, so on this first one, numbers don't match, so if I can avoid using it, I'm going to avoid using that one. The next one, the y's still don't match. Okay, so we got to pick one to get rid of. On the first one, notice that they're already opposite signs. I would like to keep that. So I'm going to multiply the top equation through by a positive 1. I know it says negative in front of the x, just trust me on this. So if I multiply through by a positive 1, I just get 2x plus y equals 3. And then on the bottom, I'm going to multiply through by this 2. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2x. See how now they'll go to 0? That's why I didn't multiply by the negative 1 on top. Then we've got 2 times 3y is a positive 6y. And 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. Now we'll just add like terms. So we've got 2x plus negative 2x is 0x. 6y plus y is 7y. And 3 plus negative 24 is negative 21. From here I can divide both sides by 7, and I just get y equals negative 3. So I have half of my answer already. Beautiful. So now I'm just going to take my negative 3 and plug it in for one of these. So my original equation here was negative x plus 3y equals negative 12. So if I'm going to plug in negative 3 for y, this would be negative x plus 3. Then I plug in my negative 3 equals negative 12. So right here I have negative x minus 9 equals negative 12. So if I add 9 to both sides, I get negative x equals negative 3. So if I divide both sides by 1, so I've got negative x equals negative 3. Divide both sides by a negative 1. My negatives cancel out on both sides, and I'm left with x equals 3. That was really nice. I liked that one. Alright, let's try another one. Okay, we got a problem here. My x's don't line up with my x's. My equal signs don't line up with my equal signs. I got all sorts of weird stuff going on. So we got to rearrange. So first thing I'm going to do is rearrange this one. So it's negative 9y minus 21x equals 6. I didn't have to do anything special. I just moved everything. It just made me more comfortable. Now I need to move my y to the other side of my equation. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to subtract it, because it's positive right now. And then I get this. I can line up my negative 3y with my negative 9y, my negative 7x with my negative 21x, my equal sign with my equal sign, and my 2 with my 6. Now, you may notice that numbers don't match here. This is a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one we want to get rid of. I'm going to pick the y. Yep, we're going to get rid of y. So I'm going to multiply the top by 3. And I'm going to get negative 27y minus 63x equals 18. Because 3 times 6 is 18. Then on the bottom, I'm going to multiply by 9. And I'll get negative 27y minus 63x equals 18. Some of you may have already noticed what's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and change the signs on my bottom one, just because they match signs right now, and that's not going to go to 0 for me. So I've got negative 27y plus 27y, that's 0. Negative 63x plus 63x, that's 0. And 18 minus 18. Again, 0. So we've got 0 equals 0. Remember me mentioning this at the beginning? This is infinite solutions. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. So, again, we are not all lined up. We need to get all lined up. The only thing I need to move, really, is this. So I'm going to add 3y to both sides, and then just line it up with my bottom one. So right now I've got 6x first, plus 2y equals 30. So I need to line this up. So I've got negative 2x first, and then we're going to have plus 3y, because we had to move it to the other side, so it switched signs, equals 1. Nothing matches. Okay. So I'm going to multiply the top one. I'm going to get rid of y's, because those are smaller numbers, so I'm going to multiply the top one by 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4x. 2 times 3y is 6y. And 2 times 1 is 2. Now I'm going to multiply through on the bottom one by a 3, because that's what's next to the other y. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 30 is 90. Now I'm going to go through and change the signs on one of them. I'm just going to change the signs on the top one. We're going to add them together. So I've got 4x plus 18. Oh, that should be an x. 18x. 4x plus 18x is 22x. Negative 6y plus 6y is 0. Negative 2 plus 90 is 88. So then if we divide both sides by 22, I get x equals 4. From here, I'm just going to go back to one of my original equations. So I'm going to use this top one. So I've got negative 2 times 4 equals negative 3y plus 1. So this is negative 8 equals negative 3y plus 1. So we subtract 1 from both sides, not 8. And I get negative 9 equals negative 3y. Then I divide both sides by negative 3. And the negatives cancel out over here, and 9 divided by 3 is 3 equals y. So my solution is 4, 3. Alright, I want you guys to go ahead and do these problems. Notice that these ones are all lined up very nicely. You just need to multiply by a number to make them pretty, make them easier. I highly recommend multiplying the bottom here by 2 to make that fraction go away. Just a suggestion. You don't have to do it. Okay, then right here, we are going to come back together, and we are going to use any method you want to solve this. Okay? All right.